Well, hello there, and good afternoon. This is Saturday, in the middle of July in 2024, and yesterday I was working on these coasters, rope coasters, for my best friend to gift to her, and I posted a couple pictures on the Bernina 7 and 8 series Facebook group. Go join if you're not a member, and you'll really enjoy it. And I got a lot of questions, and I thought I would go ahead and make a short video to show you how I did what I did. So first of all, my rope, I know there's a lot of places, rope bowls and rope bags and rope coasters and all these things. They're not new. People have been doing this for a long time, and it is really a lot of fun, and it's fairly quick. And I mean, the projects that you can make just are wonderful for gifts and last a long time. These the rope that I use is 100% cotton, and it's a braided rope. And I know there's a lot of different places where you can purchase rope, and a lot of different kinds of rope. You know, there's polyester, and then there's cotton rope with a polyester center, nylon. You know, there's just everything you can think of. And I only use cotton rope. I don't really know why. It's just I like it the best. I have tried some smaller polyester, and it's okay, but I just I don't know, I just kind of lean toward this rope. And of course, since everybody is doing rope stuff, Michael's and Joann's and Craft, Hobby Lobby, all these places, they have rope. I get mine at Menards, and it's not very expensive. It's 100 feet. I don't remember what I paid for this, but it was not very much. And I usually buy 3 or 4 packages of rope at a time. But this is what I use. It's 1/4 inch by 100 foot. It's called king cord. I will hold this up here so you can take a screenshot if you want to. You can probably even get it online. But anyway, that is the kind of cord I use, and it comes in a huge roll. And some people will unroll their rope and put it into a ball and put it in a box or a bowl or something on the floor, and then make whatever they're making. I just unroll whatever I need and lay it around me, and so I'm going to make a coaster here. I'm making a set of 4, and this is what they look like. And I'm going to show you how I come up with my measurements to get them all the same size, and how I do that. But there's a different pug on each one, so I'll show you even how I do the embroidery. And but first you have to have a coaster, so let's make that first. So I've got the end of my rope here. Let's see if I can get up here a little closer, and you can see that I've used off of this, and it's cut at kind of an angle here, and so I need it to come straight across to get started. This is an ending, so I need a beginning. Everybody needs a beginning, right? Alright, so here's my beginning, and I don't tape it or glue it or anything like that. I just kind of hold it, and I start coming around, and I hold it fairly firmly. I wouldn't say it's not wound really tight, but I am holding it pretty firmly. And so you can see how it's and it's coming around, and I have my rope that's coming off the circle here on the bottom. You always want to have your rope on the bottom, and now I've got two really long pins, and I'm going to put that right through there and come out the other side. And this one I'm going to put it through and come out the other side. And you might end up with some fuzzies in the middle. I don't mind that. I think it's okay. All right. So we've got this all started here. We're ready to start making a coaster. I'm just kind of tacking this in here, thinking about where I want to start and what I want to do. So now I'm on my Bernina 770 QE. I do not have the upgrade. I bought this machine. I think I've had it 8 years. I have never once had any trouble with it. I have it serviced every year. I've always gotten the firmware updates. And I love it. I love my Bernina. I feel that I got everything for the money that I was expecting, and I don't have a single negative thing to say about my Bernina. So I've got my 1D foot on here, my hand out of the way, and because I have a D foot on, you know that means that we put down the dual feed. So dual feed will be a great big help when making these rope bowls or rope coasters or whatever you're going to make. And there are a lot of different formulas for your zigzag stitch. We're going to be using a zigzag stitch on this. And I mean, I think everybody likes their own stitch length and stitch width. And I have a little cheat sheet. My stitch length is 1.25 and my stitch width is 5.4. So I need to change my stitch plate. Let's do this. I gotta change my stitch plate because I have the single hole stitch plate on. That will not work. Never want to try to zigzag with that. That will not work. So I want my 9mm. Let's make sure I got that. So I am going to put this on. And I don't know why, but my thread always gets caught underneath the stitch plate. And so my bobbin thread. So I just push it up through here if I can do it. There we go. There we go. And put my wide stitch plate on. And so now, excuse me, I have to tell my machine that I've got, let's see if I can hold you up. I have to tell my machine I've got a different stitch plate on. And so we're going to go to the stitch plate, tell it I've got the 9mm on, and it already knows I have the 1D. It knows that. And so there we go. Now let me see if I can get you back in place here. Alright, so now I'm going to set my stitch length at 1.25. I got to go back. I have to tell it that I want a zigzag stitch first. There we go. So 1.25. Okay. And my stitch width is 5.4. So I'm just going to pop that up to 5.4. And that seems to be what works best with this rope. It's just my opinion. And so now I've got my little curly Q here, and I'm going to start on the side and come across the center, and then I'm going to back up a little bit where this starts coming around, and then I'm going to start coiling my rope around. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm not going to sew over any pins. I don't want anybody to get a heart attack here or anything. So I'm just going to put my presser foot down and adjust my speed because I had it lowered yesterday on a project I was working on. I'll take my pin out and see if I can find it. What do I do with my stiletto? Oh, here it is. A stiletto is a very handy little tool for doing these rope projects. So I'm going to take my other pin out, and I'm going to come all the way across, and I'm going to back up. And if I need to, I can, I can come in and oh, there, did you see how I turned it? I wanted to come back around so I could catch this a little better. Here's where I started stitching. It used to be back here, so I just turned it around. So I'm going to come back across the center. That way we'll be sure we've got the center nice and secured. And now I'm going to turn back the other way and start my spiral. Now my presser foot's got this little line in the middle, and I typically try to run the outside rope, which you always want to have on your right, and the inside always on the left, right down the center of that line right here. So, okay, here we go. So I'm going to try to keep my hand out of the way. I don't know for sure how I'm going to do this. Let's see, I think I need to move you guys over. Let's see here, hold on. Okay, that might be a little better. Okay, here we go. And you can just go slow at first because you're going to need to turn. And I'm keeping a little pressure on this. Not much, but a little. And if you happen to get off and you miss your rope, you can go back and go over it again. It's not a big deal. No one will ever know. These little rope projects are so cute, and they all do look a little bit folk artsy or shabby chic or whatever. Some of them look very high-end and beautiful. And I'm using my freehand system on my machine to turn, lift, and lower. And you can kind of see here that I've got a pretty good start. Look how pretty that is. I'm going to clip this off. It's a pain. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to put my speed up a little more. And when we get to where we don't have to keep stopping and turning on this little space, you'll be able to go like crazy. And I'm still holding a little tension on my rope. I'm having everything come through right at the line. Some ladies I see and men will put their finger up here, but I don't really want to have my fingers that close to the needle. I can't think fast enough to get out of the way, so I don't really want to worry about getting my finger in there. Okay, here we go. So now we're going to go around, and the measurement that I'm using for these coasters is 3 inches from the center to the edge, and then I make my loop. I'll show you how to make a loop. And these little rope projects, they just eat bobbin thread like it's candy. So I may run out of bobbin thread. I think I could do, even with my jumbo bobbin, I think I could do 2 coasters, and I had to have more bobbin thread. So we'll see. And I'm holding this with my left hand. I'm holding it nice and flat. A little tension on the rope with my right hand, holding it flat with my left hand, just turning it and letting the machine, let the feed dogs drag it in. And I'm watching to make sure that my coaster and my outside rope go right down the middle of that line on my presser foot. Make it around here. A couple more rounds and we'll stop and measure. And I'll show you how I measure. And when you're doing this and you're using your freehand system, make sure that you are, once you get going, that you are able to get your leg over far enough that you're not leaning your leg, your knee, or your thigh on your freehand system, because even just a little bit of less pressure on the presser foot can probably give you quite a bit of trouble. So just make sure your leg is completely off your freehand system when you get going. Okay, and I've got my needle down. Oh, and that's always a great thing to have. I've got to get this off my... Okay, here we go. Let's see where we're at, just for fun. See if I can find my ruler here. Okay. This isn't the ruler that I usually use. I can't find my ruler. I don't know. 'Tis the way of the sewing room, I suppose. Things go missing. So I'm going to put my ruler here on the center here of my coaster, and I'm at 2 1/4 inches. So I need to go just a couple more rounds and I'll be at 3 inches. So let's do that. We'll go on around. And I'm just keeping an eye on it, making sure the needle pierces both sides as I go around. And if you keep your coaster and your rope on that center line on the presser foot, it will, because I have the width that I gave you, the stitch width, it's wide enough to catch it easy peasy. People do amazing things with rope. If you use, like, let's say you used a variegated thread, and sometimes they wrap the rope with fabric or leather. And oh my goodness, some of the most beautiful things I've seen done with rope. Wow. They can put beads on handles. Beautiful, beautiful things. Okay, so since I know we were past 2, I'm going to stop and check it again. I'm at 2 1/2. So we'll go a little bit more, and then I'll show you how to make my loop. how I make the loop. And you know, and you wouldn't even have to have a loop if you didn't want one. You just cut the rope at an angle and just sew off and back stitch and just have it end. All right, here we go. Okay, one more time. Okay, we are getting really close to 3. I've got like, one rope width maybe. So let's undo a little more rope. This is the way, I don't really like putting my rope in a ball. I think it gets away from me, and this way I can contain my rope a little better. You know, everything's good until your rope gets out of control. Alright, now let's check one more time. Alright, I'm at 3. So, I'm going to come down here, and because I need a visual, so I'm going to come down to here. And it's not going to make my coaster lopsided or anything like that. Okay. So here we go. This is how I make my loop. I need 3 inches to make the loop. So I'm going to put a pin here at the end of the ruler. And I'll put a pin at 3 inches and turn this back. And the 2 pins have to line up to get your loop to be the same all the time. So then down here below my loop, I'm going to cut it at an angle like you saw when we first started. And that's how you end it, is at an angle, so that you can get it tucked in really good. So I'm just, see how that is? So I'm just going to tuck it in. Boy, go to YouTube and just search these rope projects. I'm just going to take my pin out and put it in right here. And remove my other pin, get it out of the way. And I'm going to come along and I'm going to come up here and secure this first, and then I'll go back and finish this last little bit up. Get my ruler out of the way. I guess the pixies must have took my other ruler. And I'm holding this pretty tight here. You can see it's laying pretty flat, and I'm going to put my finger against it and just hold it. And come right up and catch it and come up to my needle, my pin, because I want my loop to be the right size. So let's secure that pretty good there. Couple 3 back stitches. We're going to cut our thread. And now I've got to go back and finish up right here. So let's do that. So I'll come in right about here where I veered off. Come up to my loop and back stitch. And my coaster is done. So now I'm going to trim all my little threads in the middle here. See, I got a couple threads up here in the middle. And then we're going to start our embroidery. So I'll show you how I did that. I hope this video isn't going on too long. I don't like my videos to be very long. Okay, here it is on the back side. This is what it looks like on the back. Just as pretty as can be. And I'm glad I didn't run out of bobbin thread. That's nice. Okay, so I know this is right side up because my loop is going this way. This would be the wrong side, and this is the right side. So let's get set up for some embroidery here. So let me get my rope out of here. And let's see, where's my stuff? Let's see, first of all, I'm going to move my machine over to embroidery. It's asking me to please drop my feed dog, so I'll do that. And I'm going back to my single hole needle plate, because that's the one you use when you do embroidery. So, back to my single hole needle plate. This time I don't have to worry about my bobbin thread because I use my thread cutter. And the thread cutters on the Bernina machines are just marvelous. They cut the thread at the exact length. Excuse me, I gotta get my hoop over here. Pardon me. So I am going to use this little hoop for this coaster. And it's going to just set right in here at kind of an angle. And I did them all the same way. All the same way. See how so that I could get them to match and get the embroidery to be right side up on each coaster. Did it the same way on each one. So I've got this sitting in here. This is not pinned in. It is not glued in. I didn't spray anything. And Debbie Francis from the group, oh, she's such a big help and so nice, and really, really knowledgeable. She reminded me yesterday that really you should put a water soluble on top so that your stitches don't go down into the fabric as bad. But I was so excited when I was doing these that I forgot to do that. And so I'm actually going to do this last one without, because I did the others without, and I want them to be a set. So I'm going to make them all the same. I'm going to change presser feet, and I use the 15-foot for this because it's got this little, we have lots of little ridges and lots of zigzag stitches. Not that any of them are up above or loose, but you can never know what kind of darts that Satan's going to throw at you, so it's better to be prepared, right? So this has this little lip that comes up in the front, and it lets it glide over anything that's in the hoop and nothing catches. So here is the design that I used, and I got this from Embroidery Library. It's called Pug Sketch, and it comes like this. And so in my Embrilliance Essentials software, I took this design apart and made each of these a separate design by theirself. And I've done them all but one. And so we're going to do the last one here. This is the 4th coaster. And these obviously are not the colors I'm going to use. I'm going to use different colors, but this is kind of how I did this. I just I printed this off, and in Essentials it'll always print off your design at actual size. So this is exactly the size that this is going to stitch out at. So I can put I can see through the paper, and I can see the little center. It'll give you horizontal and vertical lines to show you the center of the design. So I'm just gonna kind of put this on here, and I'm not gonna pin it real hard, but I'm gonna just stick a pin in it and set it right here. And So, let's see. What have I done now with my... Oh, here it is. Good grief, I'm having a day. I've put this design down on my USB stick. And there's a lot of stuff on here. You should never do that. You should only have 1 or 2 designs on your... One would be the best, actually. So, I'm going to put this in here and go to my USB stick in my embroidery. Find the pug. And I did reduce the density on this one a little bit. And it's telling me the medium hoop. That's what I've got. So we're going to go ahead and bring the arm over. And now it's asking me to attach the hoop. So I'm going to take my coaster out while I attach my hoop. And I may have to readjust to find the center again, but that's okay. We can do it. We can do it. We can do anything. Why? Because we're powerful women and men, and we can do this. Okay, I'm just kind of looking at this with the light behind it and situating my little loop where I want it. Yep, that's going to be it. And it looks like it's going to start at the very bottom down here. So I am going to just lay my coaster in here. And I'm going to put the very bottom right there, right under where the needle's going to go in for the first stitch. And I'm going to hold that for just a second while I change, thread. I got to change thread from the thread I used. Oh, I just used cotton Orfill or Gutermann or whatever you've got on hand to stitch the coaster. Cotton is great because the rope is cotton. So, whoop, look how close. Okay. So, we want some dark thread because we're going to have dark embroidery. So now I'm using a 60 weight Invisifill thread in my bobbin. If I can get it to go in. It's not going to like it. Oh, my baby. Sometimes you just got to talk sweet to them. Okay, my first color is called pewter. This design has 3 colors, which made it really easy to separate the design in the beginning from the four. Hold on. My spool caps ran off. Oh, there they are. Okay, got them. All right. Back at it. Okay. Anyway, about your Bernina, it won't let you do anything that's gonna hurt you or your machine. At least it tries to protect us both. And clear over to the edge. Okay, now let me see here. Where are we again? That looks good. That looks pretty good. And we're ready to take our first stitch because it's going to go right here where the first stitch is going to start for the embroidery. Now, I'm using a 80-12 needle. And as I said, I've got 60 weight thread in my bobbin, and I have 40 weight thread up top, embroidery thread from Thread Art. And since this is so thick, you need to slow your machine down. So I am going to be going a little slow. I mean, you can try to go faster if you want to. And I always bring my bobbin thread up. It's kind of an important deal. So let me I just got to pull myself together here. One more time. It's always better to check, don't you think? Double check. Check, check, double check. And make sure you're doing it right the first time. I hardly ever have trouble with, because I do a lot of this. Yep, there we go. Alright, we're done checking. Here we go. Oh, it's asking me to please let it know that I have changed my presser foot and that I have not got the 9mm plate on anymore. So it's asking, there it is again, taking care of itself and me. So we're ready to go. I'll let it go a little ways and then I'll clip these threads. And these first few stitches are holding the coaster down now. So that's why I did not use any 505 or I don't use sticky back for this. So it's going to go ahead and stitch this out right on top of the stabilizer. This is my medium hoop, and this is tearaway, medium to heavyweight tearaway stabilizer. Okay, I'm going to go off camera and finish it up, and I'll be back and you can see what it looks like when it's done. Okay, here we are, all done. This one turned out really good. That's what the back looks like. I just pulled it up out of the stabilizer. And the other three I've already shown you. And so there you go. Some beautiful little coasters for my best friend Shirley. She's gonna really enjoy these. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial, and I hope you're having a great day. I hope that you enjoy your Bernina and enjoy sewing and try some rope coasters. I'll see you next time. Bye.